Hello and welcome to one more video! On our last chapter, Utana had just reached the Arkovian Foothills and we just talked to the guys and they gave us their quests. The quest to find the lost rover elder and to return their talisman, and the quest to collect dynamite and destroy the bandit barricade that is blocking the road. As always, I hope you all are having a really nice day, a wholesome day, and man, there is no way I can just stop smiling right now. I just finished listening one of my favorite songs ever, which is The Way You Look Tonight from Frank Sinatra, and I have to say it's still one of the best songs ever made for me. The reason we are backtracking, that you might be asking yourself, hey, this is not the path for the side quest. Well, I know, but the whole point of Utana is that since we clear content so well, we also get to explore a little bit, and I realized that there was a place back here that I didn't explore with you guys. So we are going there, because there's a dust covered thing, which I'm actually thinking about to start reading all the little notes that we find, because, well, this is a more exploring lore. Yeah, could actually be the name of the season, exploring lore. It sounds good. So yeah, I'm going back there for that, and we get a little bit of free XP on the way, because there's also going to be some skeletons waiting for us in the place I'm going. See, they are already here, just already pointing their guns and their, well, not exactly their guns, but their crossbows at me. But yeah, man, I just hear the song and I just start smiling a lot, because it's a really good song. And the way he describes the person, it makes you smile, even if you're not thinking about anyone in particular, I should say. So here's the little note that we are going to rescue, that dust-covered journal. This is the crumbling watch. And look, we are just mowing through the revenants. Usually when I find the revenants, I usually just go, oh, just cast my strongest ability on them, because they are hard to kill and they do a lot of damage. But Utana just walked through that guy like if that guy was just nothing, like if it was just another enemy. Same thing with the support boss that just showed up here. This is the power of the lightning, and we are not even done with our devotion thing. I'm just coming here because I know there are enemies that are going to spawn. I know that the dust cover note is behind me, in case you are still wondering, why are you taking so long? Maybe you are one of my guys who like to just go running through stuff. I know, just bear with me, even if you're not a bear. Which, I mean, I kinda recommend being a bear, because bears are pretty nice, man. Like, they eat a lot, they hunt a lot, they sleep a lot. It's everything you ever wanted. And you will also be strong as fuck as a bear. So why not be a bear? If you are a shapeshifter like me, become a bear. A black bear, more specifically, because black bears are the best kind of bears. We learned that from Tirzu and from Offices. Now, with no further delay, we are going to be moving towards our quests. So on our last playthrough, if you watch it, you know that I like to do this path for these quests, because they are actually close to one another. If you didn't watch my last playthrough, I like to go through here, through this mine. I think it's the Stanton mine, but you could also just step all the way around for the Lost Elder. We are going to the mine because you already find the dynamite and you find the mini boss here, which is Nicholas Baltzar, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I just remember I said the name of the first reanimator from the game wrong. I said Truxor, but Truxor is a character from Hearthstone, and his name is Kizog or something like that. It's something that starts with a KY, not Trug, not Truxor. No, Truxor is a Trug in Hearthstone. I don't actually remember if Truxor is also from World of Warcraft or if it's from Hearthstone, because Hearthstone has this thing that they also create some of their characters and legendary cards. So in the minimap you can already see the star, which is the dynamite, and here we are going to meet some resistance. Here's Nicholas Baltzar as foretold by me, Otos. Just kidding. I'm not the god of thunder and lightning. That would be Thor or Zeus. But I still think that, like, I really like Thor Ragnarok. I enjoyed that movie a lot. Like, I watched the 3 Thors. Even if I didn't like that much Thor 1 or 2. I mean, I kinda like Thor 2 because I went to watch in the movies twice. And Thor 1, it was nice because it led me to know about one of my favorite songs ever, which is Walk from Foo Fighters. Even if the song doesn't actually show up in the movie, but it's part of their original soundtrack disc thing. Point is, Ragnarok was the best Thor ever, but I still think they could have used the Imagine Dragons Thunder song or Thunderstruck from AC/DC. It would have been even better. Like, especially when he's back after facing Hela and he's on the Bifrost Bridge trying to save everybody and he's just like lightning and thundering everyone. That was a perfect moment to just go thunder, thunder, lightning and thunder, thunder. Or you just go, you have been thunderstruck. I don't know, it would have been nice. But it didn't happen. At least not until I make my own director's cut. So here we just blew up the barrier. We can go back and talk to the guys for that nice sweet XP, but I'm going to do that once I reach the old Arkovia Rift Gate, which is not that far. If you explore in this direction, which I usually do not go, you're going to find some creatures. So the wind things, sometimes there are bowls right here as well, which they are not this time. They're not here this time, haven't spawned this time. Our little frog right there. We haven't hunted down Salazar yet. I saw the frog and I remembered that I used the character recently to beat down Salazar, and I was like, did I already fought Salazar with Utana? And then I saw the Strange Key side quest right there. So those stone golems, I talked a little bit about them on the last episode, but I'm going to be repeating in case you weren't here for the last episode, and if you weren't, well, you could consider the kindness of going back and watching. We're going to be jumping on this cave and I'm going to explain why in a second, but those stone golems, I find that they deal a lot more damage if you try to make a ranged battle with them. If you go on melee mode against them, they are going to be dealing a lot less damage because they are not going to be throwing a molten rock at you that kind of deals half or 1/3 of your health bar. And that's also that's always good, right? You don't need to use your Tonic of Mendings, which are your health potions, for the uninitiated. Now, why are we in the Steering Hive? We are in the Steering Hive because there's a side quest that I want to show you. I don't believe I worked on this side quest with Erasmus, therefore I'm going to be making with Utana, and if I did, well, I'm going to be doing with Utana as well. So there is this component which is the royal jelly, and once you find the conduit, this two-handed weapon is really good, and we are level 24, and we can use them when we get level 25, so we are almost there. So back to where I was. There's a side quest where I think her name is Eva. Eva is the doctor of the old Arkovia campsite, and she asks us to recover 3 royal jellies, and one of the places where you can find royal jellies is here. The other is on a small mine that you find going to the right after the rift gate from Arkovian Foothills. We are going to be returning there because I realized that we haven't been there, but no problem. Or it's the mine from here on Old Arkovia going to the right. I think it might be Old Arkovia actually. Well, we're going to be exploring stuff. Because if I look the minimap here for Arkovian Foothills, yeah, I don't think there's a... Yeah, I don't believe there's a mine that I never enter here. So the mine that I never enter should be here in Old Arkovia. We got 3 more devotion points, so let's go back. What we are building in our devotion is for lightning and cold damage, and more importantly, we are trying to build towards Ultus, Shepherd of Storms. The only affinity requirement that we are missing is 10 green. Green again is Eldritch. So to complete our 10 green, we can already build Murmur. I like Murmur a lot. We are going to be completing the Scholar's Light. Now the Scholar's Light is going to give us some fire and elemental damage. The elemental damage already starts to work a little bit in favor of the lightning damage, and since we got a bonus point for completing our constellations, we can start our Ultus Shepherd of Storms constellation, and then the next one we are going to be working towards is the Blind Sage, because the Blind Sage gives you so much cold and lightning damage as well. Or we could just use these points that we have already gathered in Primordial, Eldritch and Chaos and look for other lightning and cold constellations on this line. So the first star that you get on this constellation, it's already going to give you 80% cold damage and 25 offensive ability. Our next one is going to give 80% lightning damage. And if I remember correctly, the next one we are going to get, or the next one that I usually get, is on Cronley's Hideout. Now, of course, that exploring, I might find a shrine altar that I usually only find when I play with my brother, because if you are new to the channel, you haven't heard this enough, but if you have been watching me, you have heard this enough. My brother can't see a black spot on the map. If he sees a dark spot, he must go in. He's just like the elves, he doesn't like darkness. So we get to Quaid. This was one of the side quests, or actually rather the main quest that we have been given back on Devil's Crossing, and he gives us the main quest to eliminate Darius Cronley, and the side quest that also works towards the main quest of destroying the bandit forges around Foothills. Now here's Eva, who's going to ask us to work on the collecting the royal jelly things, and here's Hiram. Hiram is going to ask us a very simple side quest, which is to slay Gogoth the Rampaging. And Gogoth the Rampaging is really near, like he's always right here. He's this big troll, and as you can see, he didn't give us any trouble. Not with this build, not with Erasmus, and even if you're playing on main mode, which we could say that is kinda the normal hard mode, since with the smash and grab mode you get 5 skill points instead of 3 each time you up your level. By the way, let's finish Storm Surge. Even on main mode, Gogov is not much of a challenge. He's more like, hey, if you're not so impatient and you can turn around a little bit just to make a little side quest, we got you some free XP and some blue items, usually. The Conduit, which is the weapon that we are going to be changing a bit, is going to raise our elemental damage, and remember, elemental damage, the lightning damage is included in elemental damage. It's going to increase the energy that regenerates and we absorb from enemy spells, and it's going to currently give 1327 damage per second more than our weapon, because we are trying to just throw the game and we're still playing with Heaven's Greatsword, which is a sword that you find on your starting area out Devil's Crossing. So reading that Discover Journal that I mentioned that I wanted to read, but I forgot. If these crumbling stones could speak, what tales would they tell? 1,000 years of history lost to the ravage of time. What wonders and horrors have these stones seen? The splendor of a shining kingdom, and the corruption that brought it all crashing down, all told within a few bits of rock. All of it is lost now. Only fragments remain in the old tombs and forgotten places. I often wonder if King Rowan was deceived, that by abdicating his throne he brought about the very thing he wished to flee. I also wonder how many of those last lords of Arkovia fled to this once great fortress to escape the collapse of their empire. The great Arkovian watch, guarding the southern borders. Did they hide in futile hope of being overlooked by the rampaging peasants who sought them out for their greed and arrogance? Or did they fight to the last? Were they captured and hung from the walls of their own strongholds? Or did they flee into the catacombs only to perish among the relics of the past? I sit here now and wonder what my fate will be among the ashes of the past. Will I join them, equally forgotten? Or will the bandits and horrors now stalking the world find me in this hiding place and tear me apart? We kinda know the answer to that question. Not sure if it matters anymore. All the knowledge that I've gathered, all the scrolls and tomes and memoirs that I've written, none of them matter. That world is gone, lost to time as the great Arkovian Empire. We have been reduced to savages, fighting for scraps of food and blankets like packs of wild dogs. We murder one another for a place to sleep and sacrifice our friends and family to blood coats and vain promises of safety. I always question whether the story of Urulan would stand the test of time as Arkovia had before us. Now I'd rather we were not remembered at all. Scribe Figan of Burwich. Okay, so a little bit of lore, and I think I want to go and explore this mine before we start moving towards the forges. So this is the Hanify mine, if I'm not mistaken. This is precisely the mine where we can find more royal jelly. And a little bit of XP wouldn't go bad because it will allow us to equip the conduit, that awesome two-handed sword that we have in our inventory right now. Another great thing from the smash and grab mode, I don't think if I say this enough, but is that your inventory is never full, because there is nothing as cock-blocking as the moment when you find a nice item and you want to collect it and you just hear the voice, your inventory is full, your inventory is full, your inventory is full. Man, you just feel defeated by that. By the way, we just fought a mini boss that it might also show up in Devil's Crossing bounty table. So if you are ever trying to find Halion the Rat, or just trying to find this guy because you want reputation points with the Devil's Crossing table, because you also get points at Devil's Crossing table by eliminating Cronley gang members, here's Halion the Rat. Wrong place to click right there. Wilkins note. Word going around the camp is that the undead finally stopped attacking the walls. Not that I'm complaining, but a man's gotta wonder why. Just the other day, we lost 3 on the west wall when a bunch of them corpse fiends burst out of the bodies and took everyone by surprise. They was bleeding us dry, with no end in sight to their numbers. Hell, pretty sure I've seen few of our dead lurking around out there. Now I am no general, but seems to me like it was only a matter of time. The boss says that we've won, that old Arkovia belongs to the gang. He's even calling his top lieutenants to join him in the mine for some sort of celebration. Feels too soon to me, but ain't nobody asking what Wilkins thinks. Okay. Let's keep on going. We see some dynamite down there and an exit to this place. I don't want to exit this place until I've explored all of it or until I've found the wasps that I'm looking for. Well, there are actually wasps, right? Well, do wasps make jelly or do bees make jelly? I think are the bees who make jelly, so they're not wasps, they're bees. And I know that you pronounce it wasp, but saying wasp is so much nicer. Wasp. Sounds kind of German a little bit, but then I would have to, instead of saying the, I would have to start saying the. That just doesn't work with me. I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't. Oh, we've explored all of it, and no royal jelly. So I'm going to leave for. I'm going to leave out of the same place I've entered. And well, let's talk to Eva then and see what she tells us about royal jelly stuff. Because sure, we need to know where the royal jellies are since we're trying to complete these little side quests here and there. Okay, she's not granting us the side quests yet. I think we have to destroy the forges, then she's going to give us the side quest. I mean, since we're not doing much of anything, I'm going to reduce the visual pollution and just make a quick cut just to go back, for example, return this thing to this guy, see Stephen Skinner back in Devil's Crossing and all of this stuff. So, just a sec. Okay. I'm back from my cut and we are on the 21 second. Okay, fixed. We are on the 22-minute mark and we are going to be proceeding towards the Cronley's hideout, Riftgate. I intend to finish this episode there. On the way, just going back and just completing those quests, like meeting with Skinner back in Devil's Crossing and giving back the talisman to the other guy. We got to level 25 and we are already using the conduit. And now our next challenge is to get to level 30 and we can finally wear our true set without the requirement for illusions, for deceivement, and Otus will be pleased with us. So, oh, the pitmaster is here. This is going to be interesting. And in the matter of skills, what we did was start putting points into Deadly Aim, which is an Inquisitor passive ability which increases our total damage and our chance for criticals and our offensive ability. So all in all, even more damage, as if our damage was not enough already. Here we find Frankie the Knife. I'm going to be releasing him in a second. He is going to tell us that Darius Cronley has a weird... is now infusing himself and his lieutenants and soldiers with ether power. So he was afraid of it. He didn't want to be infused with this ethereal stuff, and then he fled and he got captured by his former allies, these people who are part of Crowley's gang. So he was there, we found him, we released him, because actually nothing really important happens if you kill him upon meeting him here. I'm going to go up here and remove that demolitionist, because I hate to be slowed by their little grenades. That was a Night Blade that was just obliterated as the Forge. And at the same time, here there's another infidel throwing this grenades at us. I don't actually think if these are the grenades or the canister bombs, because there's actually a difference. I always call them grenades, but they might be the canister bombs. I'm not going to clear these guys though, just going to proceed. The last forge has been dealt with, and here we find JazzG.EmptynessKoe the Church, which is just a glorified demolitionist member. And we have proceeded through this area. Some more guys are going to show up here. Oh, have I told you guys that I'm going on a party tomorrow? It's the birthday of a friend, and I'm kind of looking forward towards it. And I still don't know if I go like properly dressed in social clothes, or if I'm going to go on normal clothes that don't look completely like weird. And by completely weird I mean we are going bowling. So my question, we're going bowling and playing pool. So my question is actually, should I go play pool all dressed up in a suit like Barney Stinson would approve, or would I go play it dressed like, I don't know, normal people, like a Ted Mosby? Some How I Met Your Mother reference right there. And there's only one ending for How I Met Your Mother, and I hope you all know which ending this is. Okay? Hint, it's not the canon one. Okay, so we've finally made it to Crowley's hideout. We got the Rift Gate, and as I stipulated, here is the ending of this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. If you are a new viewer, I'd give you the little idea to subscribe in the near future. I can't tell you when, because I still don't know, but in the near future I want to make a special video commenting about all the skills from all the classes and how you can augment them with devotion. I'm even studying the constellations to help you improve your experience, not only on smash and grab mode, but also on the main game. And again, thank you for watching, and until our next episode.